And welcome to another Python lesson. Today's lesson is all about Python functions and Python lambda. So first I'm going to explain what a Python function is and how to create one. Okay, so a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function. Functions can return data as a result. Now, here is an example of a function. So as you can see, we have three variables here: quadrilla and terals. Now, here we have our function quadrilaterals. Now, in order to create a function, we put the letters D, E, F, and then whatever we want to name our function, empty parentheses, a colon, and then on the next line, in an indentation, we put what we want our function to do. So I want my function to add a plus a v1, v2, and v3, and then say our polygons with 4 sides and 4 vertices. This should end up saying quadrilaterals are polygons with 4 sides and 4 vertices. And then under here, I've printed quadrilaterals, and it says quadrilaterals, and it says our polygons with 4 sides and 4 vertices, just like I wanted it to. Alright, so now let's take some time to create a function, and once we've done that, we can talk about Python arguments. So information can be passed into function as arguments. Arguments are specified after the function name inside the parentheses. So as you can see, we have these parentheses. They can be empty, but when we fill them with something, we can add arguments. We can add as many arguments as you want. Just separate them with a comma. The following example has a function with argument tmember. When the function is called, we'll pass along a first name, which is used inside the function to print the full name. So here we have a girls' basketball team, and it's saying the players. So when we say tmember, so inside these parentheses we have tmember. So what tmember is basically a variable inside the function. And then when we call in this function, and inside the parentheses when we call in this function, put a name, aim. As you can see here, it'll have the player plus tmember. So player equals Emily, players equal Victoria, player equals Lillian, player equal Rose, and player is equal to Dorothy. So before we move on, I want us to take some time to do this. I want to create a function with arguments. I think a great thing we could do is to create a first name, last name. So let's say instead these are all siblings. So we could say their last name is Smith. And then you could say yeah. So we'll replace these all with family. And when we print it, we get all the first names. So yeah, and so try to do something like this. Again, you can do something similar to the one with the girls' basketball team members, just using arguments in a function. Okay, so now we're going to talk about passing lists as arguments. You can send any data types of argument to a function, string, number, list, etc., and it will be treated as the same data type inside the function. So in order to put a list into a function, you need to obviously name your function and then put your argument inside of it, and then for x in whatever your argument is, a colon, and then another indentation, print x. And then you create your lists, and then you put your function name and then the name of your list, and it'll print that list. So here we have our function nutrition, and then we have food for argument, and then we put 4x in food, colon, indentation, print x. We have our list. Fruits are apple, banana, celery. Vegetables are cabbage, celery, kale. Chicken is chicken, salmon, and pork. We print nutrition, parentheses, fruits, nutrition, parentheses, vegetables, and nutrition, parentheses, meats, and it's as simple as that. We can put these in lists. So I'll give you a minute to do that, and then we'll talk about what lambda is and how we can use it. Okay, so a lambda function is a small anomalous function. A lambda function can take any number of arguments but can only have one expression. So as we see here, and we have our lambda x is equal to lambda, and then we have our argument a, and then we have a colon, and then on the same line, what we wanted to do is a plus 10, and then we just say print x, and then another parentheses say 5, so that will say that a is equal to 5, and then we have our closing parentheses, and it shows us 15. Now, like said before, lambdas can have any number of arguments. So here, a lambda has two arguments, a and b. So again, separated by a colon, we want a times b. And then when we're printing it, we say print y, and then in those parentheses, we define a and b as 5 and 6. Now, like I said, a and b can be anything. So y, 4, and 7. So that will run as 4 times 7. And 4 times 7 is 28. So I'm gonna give you some time to do that. This video is a bit shorter just because I want us to have some time once to work on our projects. Again, if you need help, just ask and we'll help walk you through. Okay, have fun coding.